Sure, my name's Kevin Gannon. I'm a historian of the U.S. and Latin America, and I teach at Grandview University, which is a small private liberal arts college in Des Moines, Iowa. I also, in addition to serving on our faculty, I have a half-time administrative posting where I direct our Center for Teaching and Learning at the university as well.
We are in the middle of a history jobs crisis. What's your analysis of that?
Well, I would argue, so I've been on the job market for several years in the beginning of my career. I've also served on several search committees, and I'm a former department chair. My current position, I'm also an ex officio member of every search committee for every position in my institution, so not just history, but everywhere else too. And so I've seen a lot of candidates who come through that I talk to. I think where history really needs to do some work is in the way that we train our PhD students to put additional tools in their toolbox to deal with a radically changed job landscape. In particular, where there are very many jobs, period, but where the jobs are largely at institutions like mine. They're non-elite, smaller institutions, very teaching-oriented in both their mission and their day-to-day work. We get grad students who are, very well qualified, coming from programs where they've been urged to downplay teaching, where they've been urged to downplay the very things that would make them ideal candidates for a department like mine. So I've talked to a number of PhD students who, here or at previous conferences, folks come to me for advice that I give off the record on the job search as well. And they tell me stories about how they're, you don't have time to teach. You need to finish your dissertation. Teaching is a waste of time. The committees are interested in your research. Your cover letter needs to focus on, how is your dissertation going to become a book? Which presses have you talked to? All of those sorts of, the arrows in the quiver, professionally speaking. And I think that may have been true 20 or 30 years ago. It was much less true even when I was on the market myself in the early 2000s, 2002. But I don't think that's very true at all for most of the positions that are open right now. We have applicants for positions that are able to talk about their research in very interesting and very compelling ways, and I don't mean to discount that. But as a department chair who has probably the only hire I'm going to get to make in 10 years, I need to know which sections of the survey can you teach, what upper level courses can you bring to the table to help drive enrollments, which are probably flagging. They are at my institution, they are at others as well. That doesn't need to be the 100% exclusive focus, but for a PhD student to come out of a program where they've been told this is not an area of emphasis worthy of your time, that's a real disservice to these students because that automatically renders them, to me, outside of the areas that I need to hire in. And that's really unfortunate.
What role could the AHA play in this?
I think the AHA is uniquely positioned in the reach that it has over the whole field to bring together folks, whether it's graduate studies coordinators and departments, to create the space for these and I know the conversations are happening, but I think they're more at the edges. I think these conversations need to be brought to the center. If the AHA wants to do the type of advocacy for the profession that it established itself to do, I think this is job one. So I think the AHA has a real opportunity to have these conversations, to bring departments together to talk about what are we doing to train PhD students, what tools are going into their toolboxes, and how are we helping them meet either a very restricted academic job market or to reconceive job opportunities that go beyond just a college teaching position.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're more than welcome.